from the law firm of Reeves and Mestayer. It's the blue-eyed genius himself. Jim, good to see you.
You were going to do it.
I was going to do it. When Matt said not to do it, then I was like, now we have to do it.
Now you're giving away our guest.
I know. Shh, don't say anything. No, there's a secret.
Sorry,
It's
the big reveal.
all about injury. All about injury.
All about injuries, right. A great topic. It's what we do as a law firm and what my partner Matthew and I have done for years and years, and it's sort of our expertise within the area of law. And so, of course, Matthew Mestayer, my partner, is here tonight.
Matthew.
Indeed.
Brand new season, my friend.
Yes.
Glad to have you back.
Yes.
And although we have seen each other many times since we went off the air in September,
I feel
that way.
I feel that
As we're
way,
saying,
Kenny.
nowhere I'd rather be.
Nowhere
Saturday night.
No.
You know, I'll tell you what's stunning, guys, is you can believe this is our 5th season now. We're starting our 5th.
Six.
Oh,
Six. Good.
Finished
Gracious.
5, now going to 6. I know it.
Gracious. Heavens to Betsy.
And,
wow.
and the great news is we're still using the same microphones from 6 years
the
ago.
same equipment. That's
Same
awesome.
equipment.
I think you guys are wrong. I think it's been 7 years.
No.
We started this show in 09.
No.
Check it.
Check it. Somebody
Yeah.
get there.
Fact check. Fact check.
Fire up the Google machine. See
I'm
what
sure
we
the
got.
staff will check it, I'm sure.
Matt, when we were talking about starting off the show at the beginning of the year, All About Injury seemed like a pretty good choice.
Yeah, nice broad show, Kenny. It's one of our most popular shows. We get a lot of questions, and so it's a good way to kind of start the year going. It's almost an Ask Us Anything kind of show.
Sure.
You know, if you had a problem, any type of injury, and a lot of people are obviously, and it's confusing, can be a very scary process, and so you're going to have questions. So feel free to give us a call, and we'll work through it with you.
Speaking of questions, something that we started last year and we're happy to bring back this year is our email question of the week. Sometimes it's just a little hard for people to get on the phone, especially when you're not on the air. But now that we are back, we had this one come in about 2 weeks ago. We saw this one. This was from Gabrielle. Guys, she asked, I always have a yard full of kids playing football and soccer with my boys. If one of those kids gets hurt, am I responsible for his or her medical bills? Great question, Gabrielle. And anybody who's ever had kids over to the yard, you know, I met. Now, of course, she's definitely responsible for her own kids. I guess that's safe to say.
You're no lawyer,
I'm
Kenny,
no
but you're on
lawyer.
something.
I'm
You're
on
on
something
something.
right there. Jim, what are you thinking? So the kids from the neighborhood come over, they get hurt playing soccer.
As most things, it's sort of, circumstances drive the answer to that question. If someone's just because they're injured on your property doesn't make you necessarily liable. The question is whether you have a reasonably safe premises, whether
Right.
there's something on the premises that's dangerous. If you're letting the kids perform some kind of dangerous activity, maybe tackle football or something like that, you may be implicated in some way. But look, this is sort of the common sense thing I tell people to do. Don't live your life worried about a lawsuit. Necessarily. Be smart. Don't do anything that a reasonable person wouldn't do. Let kids play in your yard. Don't do that because you're
Right.
afraid you're going to get sued.
Right.
And if you are sued, you have homeowners insurance that protects you in that as well. So I tell people just to use common sense. I wouldn't let kids be playing a lot of tackle football. Maybe a set of kids that are bigger than other kids out there.
Right.
But they're all the same age. They're doing a reasonable, safe activity. They're playing flag football. You're going to be fine.
Well, speaking of somebody who has a ton of kids, when the Mestayer clan
football
runs
team, right.
he's got a basketball team at least. He's got a basketball team at
So
least.
don't do what we did, is what you're trying to say.
Exactly.
Use
What are your
good
thoughts, Matt?
common sense.
What are your
No,
thoughts?
Jim is exactly right, Kenny. You know, common sense is the name of the game. And people do get hurt, and just because they're hurting your property doesn't always make you necessarily responsible. Just like a business owner, just like if somebody's at a business
Right.
and somebody falls, a customer falls, you're not automatically responsible. You know, the question is, was there a dangerous condition, and did you have a duty to warn? So, but like Jim says, common sense rules the day. Let that be your guide, and generally you're in good shape.
All right, my friends, that's our
Yep.
email question. If you
That was a
want
good
to
one.
it was a good one to start off the year. If you ever want to give us one, it's so easy. Just go to the guy's website or go to lawcall.com or rmlawcall.com. Throw it in the old email machine, and they pop up all the time, and we'd be happy to get it on air. As I said earlier, the phone lines are open 896-0713 or 1-800-349-0713.
Hey,
Guys,
I was
the phone
involved
lines
recently in a hit and run accident.
Okay.
And the person that hit me the truck is not registered to them, and the kid fled the scene. So I did have injuries to myself and damage to my car. What do? I need a lawyer?
Allison, you got a couple of things going on this one. There's probably some criminal here. There's definitely some injury.
Let me just kind of start, and I'll take half of it. Yeah, Allison, and thank you. And sounds like you're hopefully going to pull through on this, and that's good news. But yeah, there are two aspects to this. Obviously, there's a criminal matter and a civil matter. Hit and run, I hope you called the police. I hope you obviously have some information because you knew that, the young man, he wasn't registered to his car, so I hope the police were involved. And that, at the very least, is a misdemeanor, but sometimes can be a felony depending upon the injuries. So, that's one thing. And the police, they should do an investigation. They should do reporting. So hopefully that was timely reported. Now, as to the other side, the civil side of that, and I'll touch upon that before I pass it over to Jim. And the question really becomes, when you say that, not registered, really, you want to know, did insurance follow? Is insurance going to be involved? And either, was the young man the named insured, or was he a permissive driver? And I'll let Jim kind of explain all that and turn it over to him.
Yeah, and so long story short, you want to determine whether he was allowed to drive the vehicle, whether he's someone who routinely was allowed, and if he was, you may trigger the coverage by the owner that way, even if he's not a named insured under the policy. So, but and in terms of your injuries, here's what I tell people. It sort of needs to be the guideline. The seriousness of your injury should really drive whether you hire a lawyer early on or not. If you have what you perceive to be a serious injury, something involving your neck, back, even if you don't think that's serious and it involves those areas of your body, you need to go to an attorney sooner rather than later. And here's why. A lot of times these injuries, you think they're minor, they progress, they get worse, and if they have to do with your back or neck or your spine, they may very well affect your ability to earn a wage in the future, and you need legal protection. You'll be dealing with people on the other side with insurance adjusters, professionals that handle cases all the time, and you're at a real disadvantage. Now, the flip side of that is if you have a minor injury, something you may be able to attempt to handle on your own, but if you do that, make sure the critical thing is early on document the damage to your vehicle, your injuries with going to a medical doctor, making sure you check out okay. You can attempt to resolve those kind of cases a lot of times by yourself. If you're not happy or you want to double check what the insurance is telling you, contact an attorney. We'll talk to you for free. On the line, what month in 2014 were you hurt?
What
month?
It was in May.
May.
Okay,
So she can close.
Sounds like you're getting close.
Close.
The statute will run on your case probably 3 years from the date of your accident. So you don't wait around. If you're interested in pursuing something, you do it right away. It takes lawyers some time to look at your case, to analyze your case. Don't wait until the day before or week before to go to a lawyer. I suggest that you contact someone Monday morning. You can call the office. We'll be glad to talk to you and see if we can help you.
Matthew, your thoughts?
Jim's absolutely right. There are limitation periods. In Mississippi, generally, it is 3 years. Sometimes it's short as 1 year, depending upon the facts of the case. So hopefully she's in that 3-year period, and we can get on this kind of right away. And Jim's right. With these car accidents, and that's the tricky thing about it, Kenny. A sore back and sore neck, is it muscular or is it something that's more serious than that? And as a general rule, what doctors say is that in about 6 weeks, if you're still having kind of soreness and numbness, tingling, in your spine, your extremities, the muscles should kind of recover in that time. So if it's longer than that time, there's probably something else going on. So just, document.
Okay. Thank you so much for the call tonight. We really do appreciate it. All of our friends in the Pine Belt area, Petal, Hattiesburg, the whole area right there. I think that I read that the tornado's path was 36 miles, something to that effect.
Wow.
What are y'all's thoughts on that? I mean, obviously you can't sue a tornado, obviously, but there is going to be a ton of insurance claims come out of this.
Kenny, I have to say it's going to be, it's a little mini natural disaster, kind of in the way that, just think a small version of BP or a small version of kind of Katrina with loss of life. I mean, there are 1,100 homes that were damaged, and we've already actually had, kind of our team has already kind of gone up there. It's kind of looking around, talking to people, but unfortunately, it's kind of the same old kind of stuff. Insurance, people have insurance on their home. Thank goodness it's not going to be a wind-water issue, but it's really going to be a value issue. It's going to be how much, what does your policy say? There's depreciation issues, actual cash value issues, things like that. So it's going to be a situation where insurance adjusters are going to come out, property adjusters are going to come out to your property, and they're going to come up with proposals. And the question is, are they fair proposals? And you have options, and you can negotiate. You can get your own adjusters, and we have those kind of people on staff. So it's going to be a big deal for those people, as you can imagine.
And we can only say it's a mini sort of disaster because of the size of the catastrophe we had here with Katrina. It is a major problem, and our hearts go out to everyone up there. they're going to be going through a rough several next months or maybe a year or two before they can get back on their feet. But the biggest misconception I think people have when dealing with insurance companies that I saw in Hurricane Katrina and other disasters where we've represented people was people are under the perception that the insurance company, they just have to take sort of whatever the insurance company offers.
Sure.
So an adjuster will come and say, this is what we'll pay, and people are under the perception that, well, that's all they'll pay and we have to take that. And that's not true at all. Insurance companies will make basically an opening offer as to what they think your claim is worth, and it may or may not be fair. And most people won't have the experience or understand the policy themselves enough to make a real determination of that. And that's where the need for counsel comes in. So if you need a lawyer to look at it, lawyers that do this kind of work will generally look at that, give you a frank analysis of it for free. And so there's nothing lost but a little bit of time before you take a settlement on a claim that you don't think is fair. Talk to a lawyer and get his opinion on it.
And yes, I mean, what Jim said is true. I mean, it is a first offer, and there are issues like depreciation and cost and value, and it's math formulas, and so you're right. I mean, it's okay to negotiate with these folks, and we fully expect it. And so if you need help, we're going to have a team kind of on site, kind of helping people kind of get through this process.
Okay, very good.
Yep.
It's something I think we're probably going to dedicate a law call here to. Next week we are going to be talking about crime and punishment. But until then, good night.